Are you thinking about moving to Aledo, Texas? Well, if so, I'm going to show you everything there is to know about living in Aledo today. So we're doing something a little bit different. I am in the office and I'm going to be showing you on the Google map where everything that you need to know is. The major streets, the schools, the new developments, the big neighborhoods, your proximity to Fort Worth and Weatherford. We're going to be covering everything. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to show you some census data and then talk about the average price home in the Aledo area. If this is your first time on the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in Aledo, Texas, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about what's going on in Aledo. My name's Jared with Living in Aledo, and I get calls and texts all the time from people just like you who are looking to make their next move to Aledo, and I love it. So whether you're thinking about moving next week or next year, all my contact information is in the description box below. Feel free to reach out and schedule that call, and I look forward to making this transition as smooth as possible. So if you're still here, we're gonna hop into the Google map and get started with this map tour. Okay, so first off, I just kind of want to give you a general lay of the land. I want to go over, proximity to Fort Worth, Weatherford, major thoroughfares, all the streets and exits you'd want to be familiar with, along with some of the cities that feed into Aledo ISD and some of the notable neighborhoods, and we'll go from there. So got a lot of ground to cover, so let's get started. But you have downtown Aledo right here. Now, you are about 25 minutes to downtown Fort Worth. So you just go down 30. Occasionally this section of 30 will back up. So I will go down 20, and then you can go up Chisholm right here, or you can go up Vickery Boulevard, which is the Winscott exit. So that's just kind of how you get to downtown. And then you're maybe 20 minutes to Weatherford, 15 to 20 minutes, depending on where you're going. So very central, lots of employers. I'm not gonna cover anything in super great detail, like any of that stuff we're gonna talk about, but I do wanna just make sure you understand how Aledo fits in with the area. So when it comes to the exits you'll wanna be aware of, you have Walsh Ranch Boulevard, the Aledo exit, which is 1187 over here, 3325 over here. You have the Ranch House Road exit, and then you have the Micus or FM5. So if you go north of 20, it's Micus. If you go south of 20, it's FM5. And FM5, you see it travels all the way down, it loops around, and it hits where 1187 is. Now 1187 juts around here and then turns south and goes all the way down to 377 over here, which is, south of Benbrook. Now the one other kind of really important road to know is Old Annetta, which is right here and kind of connects to downtown Aledo. So in my head, I always think of it like a big U shape and a cutoff right here. Now there's maybe two additional roads to note. You have Kelly Road right here, and you have Bear Creek, which takes you down to the southern part of Aledo. So if you didn't want to get on the highway, it's Old Weatherford. That's what I was trying to say. I was like, Old Fort Worth? No, it's Old Weatherford. I knew that. Comes back here, and you could kind of get into Fort Worth if you wanted to without getting on the highway from the north side. So the last one is Bankhead. Bankhead is like kind of an old historic highway that cuts through Weatherford and goes way out. So if you were trying to avoid the highway driving, you could do some driving on Bankhead. Okay, so like I mentioned, downtown Aledo right here, but the actual city of Aledo isn't much bigger than that. But there's lots of other cities, or a number of other cities, that feed into Aledo ISD. So you can see the approximate outline of the attendance zone for Aledo ISD. So you have Aledo, you have Annetta, you have lots of Willow Park as Aledo ISD, and even though Hudson Oaks is over here, the city boundaries come kind of down over here. So you have some of Hudson Oaks feeds into Aledo ISD. And then you actually have a good chunk of this area is considered Fort Worth, or it's a Fort Worth mailing address. And then to top it all off, You have a large amount of unincorporated, you know, all this stuff around here. Some of this is unincorporated. Unincorporated sections where you don't pay city taxes. So that's a big benefit. If you can find a home outside of the city limits, you will avoid paying a good chunk of taxes every year. So that's a really great thing that I enjoy. I live, let's see if we can zoom in over here. I live over here, and we'll talk about neighborhoods now. So I live outside the city limits right here. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna show you, oh man, I wanna scoot out enough so you can see everything. So these obviously aren't the only neighborhoods. They're not necessarily the best, but they are gonna be the most notable neighborhoods where most people might understand the names or where they're at. So obviously you kind of have the flagship of Aledo, that's Walsh Ranch. Its little brother right here, Morningstar, doesn't have quite all the same amenities, not as high end, and the price point's gonna be lower, but it's more affordable. You have Parks of Aledo, the other new construction neighborhood, I guess really all over here, just north of downtown Aledo. Got a lot of clients moving in there as well. Now we're gonna hit a couple of new construction. You've got Bear Creek, I guess Bear Creek might be kind of over here. You have Bear Creek North. You have Miravilla over here. You have La Madera kind of coming down this way. And those are some of the new construction neighborhoods where you can still get homes on large lots, 1+ acres. Now, if we want to go to some of the, maybe the older neighborhoods where you can get a really cool property, mature trees on an acre, you have, these are some neighborhoods that if you're looking for, you should know. Covered Bridges is a really great neighborhood over here. Awesome, had some clients who absolutely love it. McDavid Estates is kind of like the original big Aledo neighborhood from the late 90s, early 2000s. There's a number of McDavid neighborhoods, Southwest, Springs. The McDavids were the kind of the ranchers or the family that owned a lot of land that originally started developing some of the Aledo area, 20, 30 years ago. For more affordable homes, you have Deer Creek is a big neighborhood. You can get stuff in the $300 to $500 to $600 range, as opposed to some of these, McDavid, Covered Bridges, other McDavid neighborhoods you might be looking. You have, if you want gated communities, you have Stone Creek Farm over here. You have, I'm kind of ballparking this, but Lakes of Aledo, somewhere over here off Old Annetta. And then you have Bella Flora, Bella Ranch. There's some gated neighborhoods over here that are really nice, which is kind of the outskirts or the edge of Aledo, but it's still Aledo ISD. So, you do have, you obviously have lots of neighborhoods over here, more normal neighborhoods and developments, but the ones I pointed out are some of the more noticeable or notable neighborhoods. Okay, schools. Now, I'm not gonna be able to tell you where every school is, but there is. You've got one high school, you have a 9th grade campus right next to it, you have 2 middle schools, you have like Aledo Middle, and so you got McAnally as well. Then you got 5 or 6 elementaries. Walsh is obviously over here, that's a new one. They just built a new one over here, that's Annetta. You have Stewart down here in this area. And then you've got Vandergrift right just south of downtown. Then you have a couple of the others are Coder and McCall. So lots of good elementary schools. Check out their ratings on greatschools.org. And then don't just look at the overall ranking. Look how that's broken down, because because sometimes a overall score is dragged down for something that is not related to test scores in college prep. So that's something I was noticing that I'll go into more detail on another video. And for those of you who are interested in future development, I want to touch on a few of those big ones that are coming. So you have Beggs Ranch will be a mixed use, commercial, residential, and multifamily from my understanding. You'll have Dean Ranch, which will kind of span the highway. We'll have should have a good commercial and some multifamily. That's going to be over in this area. Both of these developments are off the 1187, the Aledo exit, north and south of the highway. You've got Veal Ranch, which it's being referenced in the Aledo ISD projections, but from what I understand, it's going to be over here. So I'm not sure exactly, maybe the Aledo ISD boundaries are gonna be expanded, maybe there's gonna be a carve out, but it's gonna be over in this area from my understanding. And then Kelly Ranch. Kelly Ranch is off Kelly Road, in between Kelly Road and Bear Creek. So that'll be more single family residential large lots. Okay, so we've gone over location, thoroughfares, schools, neighborhoods, all that stuff. Let's do some recreation. And one big one is golf. So you have Split Rail Golf Club. That's kind of maybe the premier golf club over in this area. You have Squaw Creek in this area over here. And then you have Oast Ranch. I'll zoom in on that real quick. We're gonna clear that out. So Squaw Creek and Oast Ranch. So just north of the highway, really very easily accessible. And then we're gonna touch on shopping needs. So shopping needs are maybe one of the shortfalls of the Aledo area, but I'm gonna point out some of the highlights. Grocery shopping's just fine. You got an H-E-B, my favorite grocery store in all of Texas, not a problem, I love it. All sorts of great stuff. You do have a Walmart if you want a Walmart, and then you have a Brookshire's over here, which is more like a smaller town grocery store. It's not like it's lacking anything. It actually has a really cool bar in the grocery store with super great drink specials throughout the week. So there's people that go hang out at the Brookshire's bar. Now, when it comes to home improvement, you do have an Ace Hardware over here. Where is it? Over here, right off the highway. But if you need something bigger, if you're looking for a Home Depot, unfortunately, you're coming to Weatherford or over to Fort Worth. So you're looking at 15 to 20 minutes to get to a Home Depot for that kind of stuff. Now, when it comes to fancy high-end shopping, there's not a lot of that over here. You got a nice boot store right off the highway, the Lucchese boots. Hopefully I said that right. You can tell me in the comment section if I did not. But when it comes to real high-end shopping, really you're gonna wanna come over here to Clear Fork. So you got the Gucci, you got all the high-end stuff, the Sunglass Hut, all the high-end fancy dining, which gets me to the next thing is there's not much like nightlife or date night style restaurants in the Aledo area. The nicest restaurant I would probably consider to be Press Cafe, which is right here. Probably the fanciest restaurant. I like Press. There's a local chef out of Fort Worth that he has a couple of restaurants I like. But some of my favorite restaurants, honestly, is gonna be Dane's Craft Barbecue right here off downtown Aledo, right there. It's awesome. If you like barbecue, you have to go. Burgers. My favorite burger place is Jake's Burgers, just north of downtown. I have a video where I'm at Jake's. You can look for it later. It's a home I'm selling or will have sold. And then a coffee shop. So there are, you've got the Starbucks if you're a Starby. I like the smaller locally owned stuff. So Serve Coffee and Goods, really cool coffee shop. They also have a big backyard space with a sand volleyball court where kids can play in the sand during the day. So that's a really big hangout for moms with kids. You go any day between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. There's gonna be a ton of kids out there, especially Saturdays. There's a lot going on. So your coffee shop is there. They also support Young Life and host Young Life there. So if you're a pro Young Life, go support these guys. And then if you want something that's more just like a casual pickup food, I need a quick lunch, I'm on the way home, I want something for dinner and don't want to have to work. I recently discovered Yesterday's Sandwich Shop. Now they've been around a long time, but man, just solid, good sandwiches. I like hot sandwiches. They have a lot of hot sandwiches, like temperature-wise, not necessarily spicy. And then during the weekday, they have like these brown bag specials for like 10 bucks. You get a sandwich, a drink, and chips, or like a dessert. So really cool spot, good spot for lunch during the day if you're in the area. Okay, we're gonna go to activities, and then we're gonna touch on just some information about like price point and sales data, a little bit of stuff like that, nothing crazy. But indoor activities, unfortunately, not a whole lot to do indoors. there is an Urban Air, so a trampoline park right over here. That's great. We've been there. My kids are a little bit young for that, and we'll get there. I'm sure we'll be there a lot in the future. So outdoor activities. So we've already mentioned the golf courses, but there in the summertime, there is a water park. So Splash Kingdom, it's really cool, really feasible and usable for younger kids. If you are a boater or a fisherman, you've got Lake Weatherford and Benbrook Lake, both an easy drive. And then you have tons and tons and tons of boat and RV storage in the Aledo area. Lots of people out here, they like their toys, so plenty of space to store yours. And then you've got plenty of hiking and biking trails. So there is a trailhead in Parks of Aledo. There's a trailhead just north of Lake Weatherford. Biking trails, all sorts of stuff, parks, it's great. You know, my kids have multiple parks that they enjoy going to throughout the week with my wife. Let me see, I've covered a lot. If there's anything I didn't cover, anything you want to know, make sure you put that in the comments. I will do my best to answer it or maybe make another video on it. And let's hop over to niche.com. I'm going to cover a little bit of the info, just show it to you. Niche.com does give an overall A rating to Aledo. As mentioned earlier in the video, Nightlife is the biggest lacking kind of grade here. But then when it comes to crime and safety, it's so safe and there's so little crime that it doesn't even get a rating because niche.com doesn't show any crime. There's nothing that it shows. I have a pros and cons video where I do go over some of that, but Aledo is a very safe city. Here's one thing I want to point out. If you find this online, this is not the median home value. I don't know where they got this information from, but I have ran the numbers recently. For all of 2023, I wanted to know what the median and average home value was for the Aledo area. And the median home value is about $585. So very different than this if you are considering moving to the Aledo area. Median is about, like I said, $585. So the average price point is closer to $650. So you need to be aware of the reality of what you're looking at if you are looking to move to the Aledo area. Nothing crazy, but if you're looking at this, that is not correct. Then you can see this is kind of like the official Aledo city proper. You can see homes for sale from homes.com. Like, you know, this is much more in line with, you know, what I was saying over here. While there are some homes in that 300s. So I'll have other videos that will go into more detail on some of this stuff. You know, maybe we'll dig into greatschools.com, greatschools.org in the future. But this is what I wanted to show you guys today. I'm glad you checked this out. If there was anything that I did not cover, anything else you want to know about Aledo, Willow Park, Annetta, Hudson Oaks, or the neighborhoods, you know, like Walsh Ranch or Parks of Aledo, comment below, send me a message, and I will make sure that I am producing content and videos that you want to see. Okay, thanks for checking it out. I hope you learned something new. And if you have any questions or there was something I did not point out to your satisfaction, make sure you comment below or reach out to me directly. And remember, whether you're moving next week or next year, all my contact information is in the description box below, and I'd love to help make that transition as smooth as possible.